In the rhythm of daily life, human connection is the thread that weaves our experience together, whether within families, friendships, romantic relationships, or professional settings. Communication is the foundation that helps us build, nurture, and strengthen bonds. These relationships bring joy, support, and meaning to our life, but they are not without challenges. Conflict is inevitable. A simple misunderstanding, an unmet expectation, or a breakdown in trust can shake the foundation of even the closest friendship. When left unresolved, conflict can weaken these connections, leading to frustration, distance, and even dissolution. But relationships are not meant to crumble at the first sign of tension. With conscious effort, understanding, and the right approach, conflict can become opportunities for growth rather than signs of irreparable damage. In today's forum, Conflict in Friendship, Applying Relationship Rules Theory, we will explore the underlying principles that govern friendships, analyze real-life scenarios of interpersonal struggles, and uncover strategies for resolving conflict effectively. By applying relationship rules theory, we will discuss how to maintain, repair, and strengthen friendships through meaningful communication and mutual understanding. Join us as we dive into the dynamics of friendship, conflict, and resolution because every relationship deserves the chance to thrive. Good day everyone and welcome to our panel discussion on conflict in friendship applying relationship rules theory. I'm Kai-Sing and I will be moderating this session. Joining me are four brilliant panelists who will explore how the relationship rules theory applies to friendship conflict. Panelist 1 is Ziting, who will describe our real-life scenario. Next is Xuan Hui, who will analyze how the theory plays out. Cindy becomes the panelist 3 who will critically evaluate the theory's effectiveness, and Cindy is the panelist 4 who will conclude with reflections and the relevance of the theory. Let's begin by briefly understanding the theory. Relationship rules theory, developed by Argila and Henderson and expanded by Steve Duck, suggests that relationships, especially friendships, are maintained by shared values. These rules include emotional support, trust, accountability, fairness, and open communication. When people follow these rules, relationships grow stronger. When they are broken, the bond is weakened or even destroyed. With this foundation, let's move to our scenario, Ziting.
Thank you, Kai-Xing. In our scenario, four university students, Jessie, Siti, Lucas, and Iman are grouped for a final project. They agree to divide tasks equally and meet every Friday. But things change by week 3. Iman starts missing meeting and fails to complete his task. Jessie stayed in to set the project, but her patient well did. Eventually, she confirmed Iman. Instead of apologizing, he defends himself, saying he did not think their lives were straight. City and Lucas stay silent throughout the conflict. Tension rise. The group fell apart. This situation is a perfect example to apply the relation rules theory because the friendship was damaged by breaking up spoken but crucial rules. Shenhui, would you explain how this theory applies?
Absolutely, Ziting. As has been highlighted by our moderator, Kai-Sing, this theory highlights that the rules are fundamental in building, maintaining, and establishing any interpersonal relationship. So the primary concept in this theory is that it empathizes a simple analogy is that when we follow the rules, our relationship can be maintained for a longer time and it can grow stronger. However, if we didn't follow the rules, then our relationship with others could be weakened and even deteriorate. Hence, in this case of friendship conflict, certain rules such as commitment, open communications, and accountability must be followed to maintain the relationship between these four best friends. So the first rule is to commit to share responsibility. So as we can see from the scenario, Iman has violated the share responsibility by frequently skipping the meetings and failing to complete his tasks on time. So this lead to the imbalance of the workload and is unfair to Jessie. And as a result, this will cause the poor teamwork and lead to frustration and resentment. Moreover, it can negatively affect their performance on their final project. And the second rule is communicate openly. So when Iman was confronted by Jessie, Iman was very defensive, and rather than apologizing to Jessie, he reject to engage in a constructive discussion. So this will result in a broad conflict resolution and increase the team tension. Now, the third rule is being accountable. As we know, accountability means a person should responsible for their action and decision. They also must keep their promises, admit and compensate for their faults and weaknesses. So in this case, Iman didn't show up for his faults and communicate clearly with Jessie, but instead he just provide any vague excuse which show he is lack of accountability, and this lead to the frustration among the team and the conflict to be increased. And okay, so from this case, we can identify the three of the main Iman's behavior is that first, he ignored his responsibility of attending the meeting and completing his task on time. The second is he give vague excuses for his absence from the meeting and his failure of completing the task. Third, he also defensively react defensively instead of addressing the issue directly. So, to conclude, what I have said is that this conflict has created a sense of betrayal and distrust, especially towards Jessie. And Siti and Lucas has also broke the rules of friendship by staying silent. This theory suggests that the friends should have meditate the conflict and support their friends while the conflict has happened. But instead, Siti and Lucas, they just ignore, they keep silence. So in this situation, Jessie is the only one who followed the rule because she is committed. She took on more work, tried to resolve the conflict and communicate openly with Iman. However, because others didn't follow the rules, this caused their relationship to tolerate. Okay, so before I end my speech, I want to say that this theory is important because this show show how powerful and fragile the relational rules can be. Now, the question is whether this theory is effective in applying the case of friendship conflict. So to answer this question, I will pass to Cindy. So Cindy, what's your take on the strength and weaknesses of this theory?
Thanks, Shenhui. The strength of relationship rule theory is that it gives us a clear framework to identify what went wrong, like broken trust, lack of fairness, or poor communication. It also helps in resolving conflict through steps like reflections and open dialogue. However, the limitation is that not all rules are clear or agreed upon. For example, Iman may have different idea about deadline and the group never clearly define expectation. Another issue is cultural or personal differences. Some people avoid confrontations due to their upbringing, which may explain Siti and Lucas' silence. Other theory like relational that realities theory and social confrontation theory help us understand that conflict can arise not just from breaking rules, but from difference in need or emotional intensity. So, while relationship rule theory is helpful, it does not explain every breakdown completely. So, Xingyi, can you summarize our takeaway?
Certainly, this discussion shows that the relation rules theory is useful in understanding how and why friendships fall apart. When rules like trust, fairness, and open communication are broken, as seen with Ayman, the relationship suffers. Jessie followed the rules, but without support from the others, her efforts weren't enough. In friendships, we must not only follow relational rules but also communicate them clearly and be willing to adapt as the situation changes. This theory teaches us to reflect, respect, and respond, not just react. In critical moments, this awareness can save relationships from falling apart. Back to you, Kai-Xing.
Okay, thank you everyone. From today's discussion, we have seen how relationship rules theory not only explain why friendship conflicts happen, but also give us tools to maintain or repair them. Thank you to all our panelists for your insights and thank you to our audience. Let's remember, a strong friendship is not just about good times, but how we communicate and support one another in tough times. This concludes our forum. Have a good day. Bye bye.